He's a gritty competitor who has no problem if things get a little chippy out there. From breaking his foot earlier this season to winning 2 Challenger titles last month, he's proven his patience and his perseverance. Patrick Kypson, welcome to the changeover. Hello, people. My name is Justin Roberts and my co-host Jody McGinley, and this is the Changeover podcast. We are joined today by Patrick Kypson. Thank you, brother, for taking the time to chop it up with us for a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
For sure. So, man, you started the year with a broken foot, and then you come back from injury, and then you win 2 challenges, and you go to a semi pretty quick thereafter. Can you just talk to me a little bit about your current form and kind of what happened there with the foot?
Yeah, so I fractured my 5th metatarsal in my left foot in Australia earlier this year, a few days before the first round there. And, noticed some pain. I was like, my foot doesn't feel quite right, but there's always something you're dealing with, right? So kind of just keep on chipping away, and ended up going to Portugal the next week and finished my match there and just couldn't walk really. So got some scans and I was like, you've got a broken bone in your foot. I was like, sick. This will be, I was on the, in the operating room like a week later, and it was about 3 months away, 3.5 months away from playing tournaments. So a good little, chunk of time in a boot and doing rehab and everything that goes along with an injury like that. And came back in Savannah, just tried to get a couple matches, probably like close to 2 months ago now, and I don't know, kind of ended up somehow on a little bit of a roll here in the last couple weeks. So wasn't expecting it, but I'd like to think that the work I did 4 months ago played some role in it, and some of the things I did when I was hurt to stay sharp. So, a little bit surprised, but I've also done a lot of the work. So I don't know.
When I first talked to him about coming on, we were in Arkansas, I think. We were in Tyler. And he was like, no, I'm too busy winning every single match that I play to come on the podcast right now, so I want to need a few more weeks.
What is that work? Because it's not your first time dealing with a pretty serious injury. So we're curious about sort of mentally, what are you able to sort of keep up with, and maybe physically, if there's anything you can do at all when you're down like that?
Yeah, I mean, that was my 3rd surgery, and I've had a lot of other stuff that's kind of kept me out for months at a time. So I guess I kind of got used to it in a way. I mean, I kind of know what works for me when I'm sidelined, and always trying to find something that I can do that will help me when I get back to competing. Spent a lot of time talking to my sports psychologist, reading some different books. Just, I watch a little bit of tennis, try and find something. Inner Excellence, Chop Wood, Carry Water, and Pound the Stone. Okay. Those 2 by Joshua Metcalf, and Inner Excellence by drawing a blank. But it went viral. There was some guy in the Super Bowl from the Eagles that was like reading it on the sideline, and I saw it and I bought it, and book's unreal.
That shit working.
Yeah.
Definitely working. But so what does it take for you when you don't play, you don't play for a few months at a time, and then, like you said, you didn't really expect to come back, but I guess what does it take for you to come back and start hot right away? Because, I mean, not to speak for Justin, but I know Justin's been dealing with a lot of injuries over the years, and that's one of the issues that he's had, especially with the start and stop, is he doesn't feel that sharp when it comes to match play when he comes back. So how do you manage to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, this last time was it was definitely the hardest time I've had with an injury. I think because of the injury wasn't terrible, but the time that I was out just felt like such an important time because of what I was defending ranking wise. So I knew I was going to drop from, I think I was like 200 in Australia to, I think I dropped down to like 550 or something, 600. And I was like, man, I'm going to have to like start over again, basically, play futures. And I'm not like the youngest guy anymore. Do I really want to go back and, kind of rebuild a career in a way? That's a shitty feeling to have, like you obviously, you guys know the work we put in on a daily basis, and to feel like it kind of gets taken away a little bit was super tough. I had a real hard time in the beginning, just trying to find some positive in it. And then once that kind of kicked in, the reality kind of set in. I think I just did a really good job of every day having a really clear goal on what I was trying to accomplish with the foot. And, like I said, just doing a lot of time talking to my mental psychologist guy, and just trying to really reframe things in a way that I could get some positive from. And I know a lot of that work that I did, that came out in Little Rock, that came out in Tyler, that came out in Bogota a few weeks ago. I felt it. I knew it was there. Some situations that I was in that I was able to pull through. So yeah, I think it definitely has paid off.
Are there any specific lessons from, let's say, those books or your psychologist that you could share with us?
I think a big thing for me is always the nerves. I don't want to speak for you guys or for players in general, but I think in an individual sport like tennis, we deal with a lot of nerves and probably a lot of internal and external pressures. And I think just finding a way to reframe those in a way that can be at least a positive or a net negative, and be a positive, can be super valuable, so understanding that those nerves or that anxiety that you feel in matches, before matches, and pressure moments, that's actually supposed to be there. That can actually be your edge, right? If you use that to an advantage, not try and push it away, not try and be like, oh shit, I'm up 5-4 serving in the third for a title, and here comes the nerves, and oh fuck, I'm just tweaking out, but slowing down and being like, man, this is actually supposed to happen. This can actually help me. This is what I need. It's supposed to be here. And that's just something that as of late, I feel like has been helpful for me.
You're an interesting case to me because you have a bit of a reputation that sort of precedes you. So like we had Ethan Quinn on, and he was talking about how you can get a little chippy, or we see the handshake with you and JJ back in college. And then like I saw you in Cleveland, like maybe a year and a half ago, whatever it was. And in the lobby, you look locked in at the hotel. Like, it's like, you're not really talking. You're like super like locked in. But then Jody tells me whenever he sees you at tournaments now, you're always nice and sort of friendly and welcoming. So I'm curious if you feel like you need things to be sort of maybe personal on the court for you to kind of get the best out of yourself, or like what goes through your mind and emotions when you're out there competing?
Like Spazzieri or what?
Yeah. I'm a little curious. I guess we're curious.
I've heard a lot of things about me, obviously. I've been, since I was a kid, I've heard a lot of different things. It's interesting to hear people's perception of you compared to what you think you actually are. That's always interesting to me. I've heard that a lot. Like, I've heard some guys talk about me like, oh, Kypson, the guy's so locked in. Look at how serious he is. I've heard other guys be like, dude, Kypson's a complete clown. Like, the guy, he's all over the place. All he thinks about is shooting deer or whatever. So,
that's the kind of locked in, though.
Just lock it on something else.
In a different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think I definitely have an edge to me. I don't, that's not something that I want to force out of myself while I'm playing. It's kind of just something that if it happens, it happens. You know, I try and, now that I'm older, obviously do it in a respectable way to my opponent. A lot of times that's somebody I'm pretty close with. You know, maybe when I was 15, I would do it in not so much of a respectable way. So I've definitely gotten, you know, more, I would like to think I've gotten more mature in that regard, but it's not something that I purposefully try and bring out of myself. It's just something that kind of happens in the moment, I think. And, you know, I think if you kind of flirt with the line of that edge, you can get some pretty good performance out of yourself. But if you're over it, you're probably just going to look like a jackass.
You can break a record in the first game, right, Jody?
Unnecessary, you have to say that. I don't know why. You hear what he said?
No.
We've talked about this before on the podcast.
You can break a record in the first game, like he did when he was trying to flip with that line.
Me or Jody?
Jody.
Me,
Jody.
bro. I don't know if you've done it, but I've definitely done that. Bro.
I've done it.
First game.
Yeah.
Where?
I did it against, I think it was Alex Rotsart in a grade 4 in Delray or something.
That's a name, bro. I know that name.
Yeah, good player. Played at Stanford.
Stanford, yeah.
Yeah. It was a good junior. We always had battles.
Happened?
I was just 14 and just a punk, and it was just like, I'm in a bad mood today, and snap.
I did mine when I was like 27.
Yeah, like a couple years ago. Yeah.
It happens, man. It happens.
Still maturing.
It happens.
When does the match start for you, though? Like, I'm curious. Do you think that this locker room power, this idea of people kind of knowing who, like, how you compete and like sort of what they can expect from you, is that a big part of your mentality and of how you carry yourself at tournaments, or do you just think the match starts when the match starts?
Yeah, no, I'd like to think that I have, or I think I have built a reputation that when we go out there and play, you're going to get a competitor in me, and you're going to get somebody that you know, can play with that edge and competes till the end, is physical, and you know, makes life difficult on you as the opponent. But I think that's just something you build up through months and years of doing it that way. I don't know if it's something that you like walk into practice in Tyler on a Tuesday and like, oh, now I'm going to show people I'm like here to compete and like I'm tough. I think that's just something that you build over a longer period of time. And I think that's a good reputation to have. You know, I think that's something that I certainly strive for. I think a lot of other players do as well, is being that fierce competitor. And, you know, when the draw comes out and you play against a guy that you know is going to dog you until the end, you know, I think that can be intimidating for sure.
I think that exists for everybody. Like you know the reputation of everybody, not just yourself.
100%.
You know, like you're talking about the reputation that you want to build for yourself, but you also know the ones who are not even thinking about reputation. You know what theirs is too. You know the guys who
you have one, whether you like it or not, and everyone knows
exactly
what it is. I mean,
exactly. 100%.
I could name what I think of every guy in the top 300. You know, and they haven't necessarily tried. Not all of them tried to build what I perceive, but over time and I guess through time, really, you build that reputation, and you certainly try and build one that's, you know, somewhat positive.
I guess ultimately, like sports is a lot of like tactics and like it's objectively like this forehand, this backhand, this serve, whatever. But then there's also like the emotional component of it, and everyone's still a human being, and you don't know what they're gonna wake up feeling like on the day. So if you build a reputation that you're a dog, like sometimes you don't, like, it's not like you start the match and everyone starts the match on the level playing ground. You don't know if someone slept bad, if they're sick, whatever the case may be. So like it only just gives you an advantage. Like knowing that they see the draw come out, they're like, fuck, I have to deal with this today. This is what I gotta deal with, you know?
Yeah. I think if you can gain a 0.5% or 1% that's a huge win, because we're talking a level here that is like, I mean, winners are winning. Sometimes the winner of a match actually losing less points, or sorry, winning
more
less
points.
points.
Win, yeah.
Sorry.
Like the final of the French.
And so if that reputation can help you, man, 2 points is 4-all deuce in the third, and it's hot, and it's like other guys like kind of fatiguing, and you look over and I'm like bouncing around and like, you know, I'm tired too, and I've also built this reputation of, oh, he's here to the last point. Maybe that helps you. Maybe the guy doubles. Maybe he freaking just taps and gives you a point. That's all you need. And if you get like 5 of those throughout the year, that could change the course of your year. I mean,
I started to think about that a lot because I play doubles. So it's not only for my opponents, but it's also for my partners. You know, I want to show people
100%.
that like this result, whether I win or lose, it doesn't faze me. It doesn't affect me. You know, I believe in like my project and my journey. And then that will be maybe hopefully the energy that I put out there can, you know, maybe put some fear or doubt into the opponents, but also put some confidence
100%.
into people to want to play on my team. You know, so that's
100%.
It's like stock. Like if something bad happens and the CEO comes out and he's like on the mic like freaking out, you're gonna sell your stock. You can't
exactly.
You can't show the world that there's a panic going on, for sure.
100%, especially in dubs, like you're saying, Jody. Like for your partner's sake, like dude, he could be shitting bricks too, but if you're over there and you're like freaking locked in and you're showing that you're, you know, just tough and everything is good, you only need one return on a deuce point and the match is yours, right? Freaking send that backhand off the hip inside out for a winner and you're golden.
Off the hip and the frame. Just get it.
I did one off the hip, off the frame, 9-7 down the tiebreak. It goes to the moon and then comes back in. They miss an overhead on match point in the semis, and then
that's all you need. It's literally just a few points here and there. Pumped a huge come on after that.
I did. I had to apologize to him later. I said, bro, I'm so sorry. That was fucking bro, you know. I should not have done that. But yo, in the moment I wanted, bro. I wanted. So
100%. 100%.
But your reputation to me has changed. Not quite the competitive side, but your tennis overall. I remember we were in Notre Dame. It was a 15K. You played AJ first round, I want to say. And I think you had just started working with Alejandro Gonzalez. I think it was around that time.
Yeah, that was my first tournament back from elbow surgery too.
Okay, because I saw you playing there, and I had seen you maybe a few times in the years prior, but I think you had some injuries as well. And you looked like a very physical player, but your shots weren't that damaging at the time. I remember you playing with like lots of spin. You were moving really well, and you were fighting super hard, but you weren't really like taking the match with weapons or whatever.
I was probably tight as a drum playing AJ too.
Yeah. So but you won like 2-1 or something, but it was like, it didn't look like super, this is my match, I'm going to take over and I'm just going to do this and it's going to be done. It looked like I'm going to fight my way through these games and it's going to be a little dicey, and then you're just more solid than he was. But I saw you again, like in Cleveland, like a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, and you were hitting serves like 140. You were ripping the shit out of every forehand. Every backhand was clean and like stepping into the court. And I was like, okay, this guy changed. Like it's different. It's different now.
I saw him in Champagne at the chance, like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. Like it was just different. Like
I was ripping in Champagne that year, though. To be fair,
I was like, what's going on here? And the bro was so locked. He was upstairs, way down in the corner, not fucking with nobody.
Yeah.
Look at the wall. Just stare at the wall for 3 hours for the match. But I guess we're very curious about what sort of work goes into going from this game that looks from the outside, I don't know what you felt, but it looks like there's quite a bit of fear in executing your game plan, to a game that looks like I own this identity and this is how I'm going to play, and I don't really care what you do. I'm going to take over this match. Like, what kind of work did you and Alejandro do to get you from this player that looked a little bit tight to a player that looked like I'm in control?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, you hit the nail on the head there. I spent a lot of the younger years in my career being passive, I'd say. Just being passive, waiting for guys to make mistakes, playing a little bit I would say just not to lose instead of to win. And I mean, when you're out there for a couple of years, you probably start to realize that, man, you gotta take it. You gotta go out there and you gotta play some aggressive tennis, and you gotta swing out on your shots and be committed to what you're trying to do out there. So that's something that I still have to work on daily. I mean, my natural instincts are to play far behind the baseline and make balls and run. Like, I've just always been that kind of a player. I'd like to think over the last 3 or 4 years, I've transitioned into, what you see more from my game now. But yeah, I mean, it took a lot of work, and it still requires a lot of work to reinforce, the way that I want to play. And it's really just comes down to being committed out there and knowing that the way I'm trying to play will be the way that gets me any kind of relative success. I'm not going to have any success 8 feet behind the baseline waiting for guys to miss. That's just not going to happen.
Hey guys, quick break from the episode. The best way to support us is to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the episode. Like, was it hard for you it was just a decision that, I need to play this brand of tennis? Or was it like, okay, I need to play this brand of tennis and I need to learn how to? Meaning, like, did you have to figure out how to produce a bigger ball, how to play that way? Or do you think it was more like a decision that you need to just pay attention to? You're slipping into this maybe more defensive, more consistent game style and away from aggressive at taking it?
I think a combination of both. I mean, really, when I started working with Alejandro, obviously he's. I mean, I can't say enough about him and how much he's helped my game and my mentality. And he's definitely been the biggest driving force in that, and that you got to go out there and take it. And so a little bit of is that realization of, hey, this is not the way I'm going to have any kind of success. And then you go to the drawing board with, in my case, with him, and figure out, okay, well, I need to serve big. I need to hit forehands big when I can, and my backhand needs to be extremely solid. I can't be getting pushed around to that corner that often. And then how do you do that? Do you need to make technical changes? Do you need to make adjustments with your feet? Do you need to make a little bit of an equipment change? Does your racket and your string setup play a role? So we kind of looked at all that, and we still do. I'm still trying to find ways to improve in that area, because I know that's the way that will get me to where I would like to go. Hopefully,
he was a top 100 player. So he put the Tsitsipas the other week, and he was talking about how he was excited to work with Goran Ivanisevic because he's a former player, and he kind of coach him from the perspective of how somebody wanted to beat him. So, like, if he wanted to beat Tsitsipas, how would he play him? Does he do that with you? He tells you, like, if I was playing you, I would do this, I would do that, and you kind of work that way?
And does he?
Well, we actually played like 3 months before he retired in Pensacola, and I drummed him like 1-1. So sometimes he's like, if I was playing you, I was like, dude, you did play me. You won 2 games. No, we definitely look at it from that angle, and also just from an angle of I watch a lot of my matches. He obviously watches everything. It's pretty obvious the way that guys are having success against me, or what they're trying to do, at least.
You want to share that with the world? I'm playing.
Not really.
I'm playing.
All you'd have to do is send a text to anyone who was in Tyler or Little Rock. They could probably tell you. But that's it, right?
They weren't very successful.
At the end of the day, when you go out there and play Rafa, you know what you have to do to beat Rafa.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you can't do it. Or Yannick or Carlos. Yannick, I have no idea. But crazy. For the rest of the world, you know what you have to do. It's just a matter of execution.
You had that run. You won the wild card for the French, I believe, at some point. That was what happened. But then I saw you went to Delray. You were playing in Delray, and you won some rounds, which was great. And then you came up against Marcos Giron. And then what I remember seeing from like, if I looked at you in Cleveland, it looked like, wow, this guy's rally ball is just better than whoever he's playing on most of those days. And then I saw you playing against Marcos, and it didn't look that way anymore. It looked like either 50-50 or sometimes you were even behind in like when the rallies got, I guess, extended. Was
Right.
there, how do you view that? Is it like a physical component where maybe you get tired after a few matches, or is it just that a guy like Marcos has the ball quality that you have to learn to live with a little bit?
I think it's more so the latter. I think the better player you play, not only will the ball quality have to maybe increase, but you'll have to also increase the tolerance, right? How many times you put that good quality ball in. And I think, yeah, I mean, I remember that match against Marcus, and I felt kind of what you're saying. Like, I'm probably 40, 60 from the extended rally from the baseline. I'm good from 1 to 3. I'm serving bigger, but Marcus returns pretty well. So you kind of have that little battle, and the ball quality is huge. I mean, I think, like I said, the ability to do it multiple times in a row, 7, 8 times in a row. I think that's one of the big differences between a guy who's, where I am and a guy who's 30 or 40.
Yeah.
Just the amount of times you can replicate that quality ball. One of the differences, in my opinion.
Yeah. Can we go back? So Texas A&M, can you share with us sort of what the setup was when you were going there? What was your mindset before going? And kind of what did you guys agree upon when you went there? Like, did you know you were going to go and play one season and turn pro right away? Like, kind of, what was that process like for you?
Yeah, so I was actually went to A&M. When was it? It was the spring of 2018. So I went early. That was supposed to be my second semester of 12th grade. And I remember kind of weighing my options between going to school or just turning pro at the time. And ultimately, I made a decision that I was going to go to school no matter what. So I might as well go as soon as I can and start the process. And I remember it was like September when I made that decision that I was going to go to school. And then I was there 3 months later in school playing. So it was a pretty quick decision, and ultimately it just ended up being A&M because of Steve Denton and Kevin O'Shea, the two coaches. I just felt like for what I needed at the time and who I felt most comfortable with to help develop my game in college, that was the right choice.
Bro, we hear the most stories from A&M, like the most stories.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's a wild place. Our team was wild too, man. Like, if you just look at our team, like, I mean, dude, me, Arthur Rinderneck, Jordy Arcanata, Valentin Vachereau, Carlos Aguilar, AJ Catanzariti, Barnaby Smith. I mean, and then we had PK Pranav and Kevin Lamb. And so it was just a crazy group.
What? No, like the amount of stories that I've heard, like, I've never heard any other schools with the stories. It's insane.
Were you there for the peanut butter jelly sandwich story with Kevin Lamb?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. You can't share that one anyway, but
dude, Kevin Lamb is he's like a mythical freaking human being. The guy has so many stories about him. I mean, it's insane. Our whole team was just, dude, everyone on that team is just like a pure character. So you put 6 of those guys together and you're like, this is a shit show, you know?
Bro, I played so many of you guys. So apparently, I think I played Kevin first round qualies of Harlingen. So I beat him. Second round qualies, I'm playing Noah Schachter, right?
Yeah.
But this was the year that AJ already left A&M. So AJ was training
when I
us.
left.
Okay, so AJ was training with us at the dance this year. And so now I'm playing Noah, but I'm playing dubs with AJ. So AJ is sitting there cheering for me. And I didn't know until recently that Noah was pissed at AJ because he's like, what the fuck is this guy doing, man? I'm an Aggie. And he's cheering, he's cheering against me. It's so funny, bro. But I played Noah, then I played someone else. I qualified. I won first round, then I played Jody. I lost 6-love in the third to Jody in the second round.
Dude, Jody, that year, I only went for 1 year. He was an absolute monster. I think he lost twice that whole year at 3. And looking back at the players in college, not that players in college are good every year, but it just seemed like some of the guys that were there that year, there was just some crazy names, dude. Like,
Well, Jody was really good. But
he was really good.
I just think that the tour got to him. It was COVID. It was COVID, like 2021. We were in Naples, and he was playing like first or second round qualies, and he was like in a 10-point tiebreaker to playing somebody good because it was crazy draws. And he looks at somebody on the side and says, "It doesn't get lower than this, huh? Does it?"
Yep. That's Jordy in a that's Jordy in a nutshell.
Half a year later, he was with Francis on the sideline, he didn't want it anymore.
I think he would have played college tennis for 20 years, though. He loved college tennis.
Loved it?
He would always joke about, like, I'm just going to play 3 at A&M for the next 20 years. I'll take like $75K a year. I'll just stay here and play 3 for the next 20 years. I think he loved playing college tennis, and I think, we had such a close group. We all loved. We just loved that year. We were good, and team was close, and yeah, man, it was just fun.
Bro, I played you.
Yeah, I was dark.
Was that the next? Huh?
I said that was a little bit of a dark. I remember when we played. We played in.
Yeah. You were talking mad shit. We played in Irving.
There's that edge,
shit,
right?
Bro. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I told a story on the podcast before,
that line?
I don't know. It depends on what you decide is the line. But bro, I just remember that I won the first. I think you guys played like a match before. You played like Georgia or something. So I was like, no chance they come to this tournament.
Oh yeah. I remember exactly, dude. That was Irving Challenger. We played on center. Exactly. We played on center court.
Yes, exactly.
And the cut for the main draw was like 60, and I was like 900 and like seated in qualies or something. And there was like buys and stuff.
Hey, Jody, tell the story how you tell it to me. The exact same way.
Yeah, I say, fuck this guy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think I win the first. No, I don't think. I know I win the first, but I don't remember the score in the second. I might have been like up a break or like middle of the second. And I remember like before the match is normal, and then you started hitting drop shots. And there was a time that I ran on a drop shot, maybe the first or second, maybe like second or third one that you hit. And I ran past the post, and you go on the embrace like, this is what I have to do to win against this guy. Like, you said that. And then all of a sudden, fucking shank over there, miss hit over there, like just went straight downhill.
You see, there's the younger version line, and probably cross it there. That's not something that I would. I hope I wouldn't do that anymore.
Bro.
But when I start going to the backhand drop or start going into the well, it's trouble.
But it worked though. Fuck, it worked. I got lucky loser though, but still, like the points would have been nice, bro. At that point, there was so many points, bro. It was like 10 points or 5 points to qualify, something crazy. I was like,
yeah. That Challenger was nice too, man. It was at the.
Did you stay there?
Staying at the Four Seasons, right?
It was at the Four Seasons, but I didn't. I'm so dumb, bro. I didn't stay because I lived nearby. So I was like, oh, I don't need to stay because I live nearby.
Oh my god,
I'm an idiot. Yeah,
crazy move.
Yeah, I know. And also, after the tournament ended, the director was like asking me to come back and warm some players up. So he's like, I can just give you a room for like another couple of nights and stuff. So I was gonna have a free room for like extra nights, and I still didn't stay, bro. Didn't stay.
I would have gone just for the breakfast. The breakfast was fire.
Yeah, I'm done. But I got a wild card for singles and dubs. So I can't complain at all.
Okay.
I'm stringing up my racket using my Pro Stringer. I've had this machine for 4 or 5 years now. The Pro Stringer is a portable stringing machine. It's very durable. It's accurate. I never have any issues with the tension being incorrect and stuff. It's easy for me to know what to expect from the racket. And we at the Changeover actually have a partnership with Pro Stringer. So if you'd like to go and purchase one, You can go to the website and you get to save $100 off a brand new Pro Stringer when you use our discount code CHANGEOVER in the checkout. So if you're interested in a portable stringing device, I highly recommend this machine. Saves a lot of money in stringing fees. And like I said, I take it everywhere I go and string all of my rackets on this machine.
Located in South Florida, Access Tennis is in the ideal location for training and competition. There are groups available for all levels of players, from young juniors to top ITF, D1, and pro players like Jody and myself. Access had a big part in the development of players like Cooper Williams, Ben Wilworth, Liam Draxler, and more. Access also has UTR match play certification. Visit accesstennis.com/contact for more information.
Looking at the success of the college players, especially the last couple of years, I mean, it's been happening for a while now, but like this last year or two, you've really seen like the top college guys do really well on tour, like pretty quick. Do you ever think that maybe you should have stayed a little longer in college and played, or are you pretty happy with your decision?
At the end of the day, I mean, I'm happy with it. I mean, who knows the direction it could have gone. You know, I try not to be like, I could have stayed, and I could also ended up a complete disaster. So, I mean,
you're hanging around those guys for too long, you might have...
Around Chally for too long, you become a disaster.
I mean,
sure.
Who knows, man? So I try not to play like the
what ifs, yeah.
The what if game. You know, I'm obviously where I'm at right now in this moment. I would have hoped 5 years ago or 7 years ago when I was in college that I would be, you know, a little bit further along. But I also think there's some things that that I've learned, and the setbacks that I've had to face have taught me some things, not just about tennis, but life in general, that are probably worth more than anything I could do on the court. So, you know, I try and look at what it's given me, and just, you know, kind of try and be grateful or appreciative for what I chose and all that. So,
do you fancy yourself a little bit of a philosopher? So I have a quote here for you.
I could be at times.
Be either hot or cold. If you are lukewarm, I will spit you out. What's that about?
Yes, sir. That's in the Bible.
That's
in the Bible, actually.
Okay. Well, I take it back. Take the fuck back.
No, just something that I guess if you're gonna do it, then do it. You know, like don't have a foot in and a foot out. If you say that you want to do something, and if you're, in my case, if you're a professional athlete, a professional tennis player, you got to squeeze all the juice out of that lemon. So freaking do everything. What are you going to do? Regret that you did too much? Regret that you tried to flip over every stone? Like, obviously not. You're not going to regret that. So freaking just bulldoze through everything and look for a 0.5% here and there that can make you better. Don't sit around and, you know, wait for things to just come. You got to go out and look for them and try and find ways to proactively become better, just all the time.
Did the message in that quote help you to play that more aggressive game style? Or was that not really related? Is it more about how you navigate the
I think it all ties together. I mean, that it's all kind of the same, right? If you're trying to squeeze all the juice out of the lemon, then part of that is playing freely enough, playing committed enough to see the level that you can bring when you're at your best. You can't be at your best, as you guys know, when you're freaking holding back and covering balls, right? You're at 40% there. So actually saying that you want to do something that requires excellence, that's part of it, is learning how to commit and, you know, do all the things, cross all the T's, dot all the I's. And I think at the end of the day, you can just kind of be satisfied or be happy with the work you put in over such a long period of time if you do those things, you know.
Do you have to do much reframing when you're playing people that you view as a match I should win? So like, it's way easier for most people to, when you view somebody as an equal or somebody that you kind of, you strive to be where they are, to play that with that freedom. But now let's say you might feel like a bit of a favorite at some of these events or whatever, and you're playing somebody a wild card or someone ranked way below you, do you ever have to reframe something that's so you can play freely, or is it pretty automatic for you now the way you're playing?
I would say no, because I feel like maybe it's a blessing, maybe it's a curse, but I'd never walk onto the court thinking I got this guy. Like never. I'd never go onto the court thinking like, yeah, I'm good. I always think that no matter who I play,
I mean, when you was playing Jody, you said this
Stop.
guy. You
maybe
said
Stop. Just stop
Maybe
it
when I was
right now,
younger.
bro. What the fuck is your problem, guy? Just let the man talk. See, this is I agree with the audience. The audience be commenting that we interrupt too much. Justin, stop interrupting, bro.
no, but maybe when I was younger, but now I truly go onto the court thinking it doesn't matter who I play. If I don't bring that level, I'm probably going to lose because guys are just too good now. And that goes for everyone. You could play a wild card in Tyler, Texas from the local D3 and like, dude, if you don't bring it, like you're going to be in a battle and you're not getting better and you're not going to end up where you want to go. So you just got to bring it. And yeah, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but that's definitely how I think. No.
A few people have said that recently. Like I talked to Justin about it on the last episode that we had. I think Dane Sweeney also talked about it recently, saying that he knows that every match that he goes into, there's a chance that he could win, there's a chance that he could lose. So he kind of, I guess, tries to go in the perspective of somewhere around there. It's like you're never just too comfortable and too confident for anything, because like tennis will humble you like real fucking quick.
100%. I mean, one thing that I think has helped me recently is just using a different metric for judging yourself on success and failure. So not looking at it as, oh, I beat this guy or I lost to this guy, but how well did I commit to my style of play? How well did I commit to being super tough in big moments? How well did I compete when I felt like I was starting to get a little tense or get a little anxious? And use those metrics and grade yourself on that versus, oh, I played Jody and I won, but I didn't play very good, but I won. So, I'm good. Using different metrics to judge yourself. I think that's one thing that has been super helpful for me.
Shout out
You see how much joy he gets in you saying that you won?
I thought he was going somewhere a little bit more edgy, his edge, but he did it.
No, he said he is matured.
Yeah, he's matured. Yes. But shout out to the PTPA for Damon Valentino, the sports psychologist over there. He was talking to me about a similar thing. He says you manage what you measure. So whatever it is that you hold yourself up to, it's what you're going to be dealing with mentally when you're on the court. So if you're thinking about wins and losses, whenever you're down on the score or you're close to winning and you don't get it, that's what you're going to be fighting with internally all the time. You can't control that. So like you're saying, finding things you can control, like those books, like Chop Wood, Carry Water, it's all about the process and with things that are within your control and doing those things well over and over and over and stacking up those good habits, I think is, that's powerful for anybody listening who wants to figure out how they can get better. I think that's a good place to start mentally.
Yeah,
sure.
And that it's hard to do, man. It's hard to. I mean, a question you ask yourself is how do you change the metric when your whole livelihood is based off of winning or losing?
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking hard to do, right?
Yeah.
When your whole life depends on winning or losing a tennis match, I mean,
it feels that way.
It feels that way, and financially, that's what I do as my career.
Sure.
So, how do you prepare yourself to say, okay, I'm actually not judging winning or losing. I'm judging on my compete, my attitude, the overall style that I'm playing. It's not easy to do, as you guys know.
For sure.
I wonder how much like the top guys focus on that. Like, is it a thing where maybe you can take it for granted if you're very successful? You take it for granted, like you don't think about it as much because I don't know, like life may seem a little bit easier if you're playing on the tour, and you have people helping you out. You have teams and that's. I mean, I know you have a coach and stuff, and I mean, so do we. But like these guys have full teams and a lot of resources backing them, and everything's more convenient. So I wonder how much easier it is for them to just settle.
I mean, it can help or hurt, right? Like if you take it for granted, like you say, and you think you're so comfortable that it doesn't matter, you could either be freed up for that and like play loose, and that's a good thing, or you become complacent and you stop doing things that made you get there, and maybe now you're picking up injuries or you going to bed later than you should. Whatever it is that's going to affect your performance could also happen. So I think it's a line you flirt with as well in terms of how comfortable you become mentally and emotionally. Yeah.
I agree, but I would say the top guys really, for the most part, also that's what they're judging themselves on, how well they're doing their things. It's because you're trying to you're looking for mastery, right? You're looking for mastery, for excellence, and not so much wins and losses, I think.
You spent some time with Ivan Lendl as a junior. Can you just talk about how he is as a person, first and foremost, and then kind of what he's able to, I guess, share with you as a young player in terms of advice as a player, maybe how to carry yourself? I heard about some of the punishments he gave you guys, the physical punishments when you guys were not behaving or not doing things well.
Mostly to me.
Yeah,
mostly to me.
That edge.
No, I've been super fortunate to be on the court with just some, I guess, just legends of the game, really. And Ivan was awesome. I mean, pure work ethic, really. A lot of tactical stuff. I remember we worked on a lot of tactical stuff, just trying to understand the game better. A lot of running and just a lot of volume, just a lot of work. And he was very old school Eastern European, which is just grind, really run hard, compete hard, think out there and just be a beast. That was kind of his message in a nutshell, really.
Can you speak to Lendl's personality a little bit? Because obviously through the TV, he looks like this crazy serious guy, but I was also around him when he was training with Murray here a couple of off seasons ago, and he was serious, but he liked to poke fun. He had a similar sort of, I guess.
He's got the craziest sense of humor I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean, insane sense of humor. He's rougher. He's pretty rough around the edges, right? Like he's serious and he can be pretty intimidating, but he's got a crazy sense of humor. Like,
again, yeah.
Just crazy. I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. Okay. All good. Understood.
I don't want to say anything throwing Ivan under the bus. I love Ivan.
No, for sure.
Not that he said anything bad. It's just that
he would never say anything bad.
He'll speak his mind in a sarcastic way with no problem.
That's what I felt being around him too. That's what I felt. And I thought it was great. I love that. That's what I'm into. But yeah.
No, he was awesome. We were super fortunate that USTA invested in him and invested in us when we were 15 years old, 16 years old. We got to work with Ivan. I think we had something like 8 weeks with him throughout the year. Also with the strength coach of Sasha and Andy, Jez Green. So we were tremendously lucky to, have those two guys in our ears for a good chunk of the year.
You became pretty familiar with the Versa Climber. Was that not one of the...
Dude, we were on that Versa like all the time. I kind of grew to love it in that stage.
I've never done it.
Oh,
I love it. I like it, actually. I like it.
That thing, to me, that will burn you up like nothing else, man. It will.
And without the pounding on the body. So it's like... It's
worse than assault bike.
It's a similar to assault bike, but it's maybe harder. You're like pulling yourself up and like this. It's different, but it's tough, bro.
Depends what you do. You can do just some brutal shit on the assault bike too. You know, like they're both really hard versus a little bit different, but it is brutal.
Toughest thing you had to do on there? Anything sticks out?
Toughest thing, yeah, something called Candyland. So it was 1,000 feet on the Versa climber, 10 cals on the bike, 900 feet on the Versa, 20 cals on the bike. So
Oh, it
kind
just
of
goes like this.
crisscrossing ladders. Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you finish with 100 feet on the Versa and
1,000
100 cals
or 100 cars.
on the
Yes,
assault
yes.
bike. So you're kind of like reverse laddering.
How long does it take 100 cars on an assault bike?
It depends how fast you're going, but you're finishing with it. So I think it'll probably take like 7.5, 8, because by that point you're just toast.
Finish.
I think the whole workout
idea.
took like 45 minutes or something.
Also, on your Instagram, there's a photo of you with Federer. What was that experience like, and kind of what did you guys do?
That was awesome. I guess I got invited to hit with them for, what was it, 3 or 4 days
Where?
in the Hamptons before he played in Cincy, I believe. And it was actually really cool to see how he prepared, for that swing. Because I think a lot of times people think of Roger and they think of, oh, he probably doesn't really practice that much and he's just so talented. And, but we were putting a good 3+ hour sessions in on the court every day. Hard physical. It was actually me and Will Blumberg doing 2-on-1s with Roger. So it was, he was hitting a ton of balls, a lot of movement. We played some points there towards the end. But he was just super friendly. Actually pretty curious about how we traveled and like how we got to tournaments. I remember I was going to Kalamazoo and he was like asking me like, how am I getting to Kalamazoo? I was like, I'm flying private. He was, no, I'm just kidding. I was like, dude, I'm taking the Greyhound from Grand Rapids. Like, what do you think I'm doing?
Do you remember any
Go ahead.
specific drills he was doing?
I don't remember anything that sticks out as like anything out of the ordinary. I know it was a lot of like 2-in-1, 2-in-2, 3-in-1, just
Bread
a
and
ton
butter.
of movement
Yeah.
and a lot of transition stuff. I remember doing like a lot of approach pass, a lot of stuff like in the mid court, like him doing like pickup volleys and then like coming in and knocking one off, stuff like that. It was pretty, yeah, it was an awesome experience, for sure.
I saw one last legend on your feed there, Andre Agassi. What did you get to learn from that wizard?
Dude, I couldn't put into words what how smart I think that guy is. I think he's just otherworldly genius. The way that he sees tennis, the way that he sees life in general is pretty interesting. Just his whole outlook on things. But being on the court with them, I remember, what were we doing? I can't remember the exact drill, but it was like the first or the second day, and we'd been hitting for probably like half hour, and he brings out a bunch of lead tape, and he starts like messing with the specs on my racket. I was playing with the head radical at the time, and long story short, I ended up, obviously using whatever he put on the racket. I wasn't going to strip lead tape off in front of him, but just hearing him like kind of think through, some of the stuff he was asking me to do and why we were trying certain things. I mean, just super interesting. Just a bundle of knowledge, that guy.
He talked about like his struggles with, let's say, like love, hate with tennis. Did you get the vibe that he hates tennis, or like what
Not
is
at all.
like he loves? It's similar to like
He loves
Kyrgios
it.
and these guys who are like so gifted and they have this pressure. They feel like they love it still. To me,
100% Andre.
Bublik, same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I think deep down those guys love it. And I think Andre now will openly say that he's all love for the game. I think when he was younger, I think he had that back and forth. But I think now, like, if you pick up the phone and you call him and say, hey, I'm coming to Vegas, can you help? He will help you. I really believe that based off of I've had a couple different week blocks training with him. So I firmly believe that.
We'll pull up to Vegas for a podcast episode for sure. No problem.
Yeah, we'll call him for some help. We need some help.
Hey, Vegas Challenger is probably still going on this year, isn't it?
Hey,
I think I'm playing it.
Andre,
I think I will be playing it.
Andre, we need you.
Yeah.
You went on a Davis. You were part of the Davis Cup's training squad. I'm assuming when you were
I was
younger.
a hitting partner. 2018, the semifinal tie versus Croatia.
And who was on the team with? Who were on the team with?
So the team was Francis, Sam Querrey, Mike Bryan, Brian Harrison. I think that was it.
Gonna offend somebody.
Yeah, someone's getting hurt.
Stevie Johnson.
Okay, he saved it.
I was thinking through the rubbers. It was actually a crazy tie. Ended up being 3-2 Croatia. Francis lost the fifth rubber 6-3 in the fifth, I think, to Borna Choric. It was an absolute war.
How did that atmosphere compare to the craziest A&M match you ever had?
Unfortunately, not that close. The one in Croatia was significantly better. Probably just because there was more people. It was probably just the people, honestly.
The amount. Yeah.
It's much more respectful over there. We'll put it that way. I think some of those college matches got a little bit out of hand.
A little edgy.
The atmosphere was crazy. A little bit edgy for sure.
Yeah.
Any cool lessons learned on that trip from any of the pros you were there with, or just cool to be around?
I think it was, at the time I was still younger, obviously, so I think it was just cool to be around those guys and seeing how they prepared and seeing how different everybody was. At least Francis, Sam, and Stevie, how different they prepared for their matches at the time. Mm-hmm. Obviously Francis has gotten more professional. Not that he wasn't back then, but it was just everyone's preparation was very different in terms of how they practiced before and how much they wanted to play. So that was cool to see. And then being around a guy like Mike Bryan, who's just a veteran and obviously probably best doubles player of all time. It was cool to see him play dubs. They're live. He and Ryan Harrison won, I think it was 7-6 in the fifth against Dodig and Pavic, which was a crazy match. So I look back, I still think about that trip sometimes. That was just freaking awesome. The matches were crazy.
Last thing for you here before we hit the game up. So you're big into hunting, right? So have you ever, or would you ever go hunting with our friend Colton Smith?
I don't know Colton at all personally.
Okay.
I've played him. I've heard he's a huge hunter. So I'll hunt with anyone for sure.
Okay.
He looks like he's the real deal based off what I've heard and seen. So he's probably got a little bit more experience than I do. I think he's got an elk tattoo on his arm. So that's pretty badass, right?
Do you?
Would you hunt, Justin?
Huh?
If I would
I
hunt.
was asking Justin if you would hunt.
I'd go for the experience, but it'll be the same thing where, right now you ask me to do it, I'm not excited about it. But maybe if I go and I get into the spirit of things, and then
it's the best thing ever.
See the process, I might enjoy it. I don't know if it'd be the best thing ever, but I think
the best thing ever.
I think I could go and experience it. Would you?
I don't know. I don't know what the difference. Yeah, I don't. The thing is, I can
just
catch
want
a
to eat
fish,
steak
no
at home
problem.
from Publix.
I'll catch a fish, no problem. I'll catch a fish easy. But I don't know what it is about the land animals. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Too close to home. It feels too real. That's home team.
I don't know.
Dude, it's not even like the killing or the actual hunting that is so enjoyable for me. It's just the total contrast and being out there on a court in front of people, fighting for your life, and then just being in the woods or being in a deer stand 5:30 in the morning, the sun's coming up, it's cold, it's just so peaceful. It's such a I don't know, it's just, I found it to be such a contrast compared to my daily life. And just I think love the process of hunting more than actually killing the animal in a way.
Well, if you do fishing, I'll come fish. If you want to go fishing one day,
I fish a little bit. I
I
fish a little bit, but I'm not as experienced of a fisherman as I am as a hunter.
How strict are you on diet? Are you like eating like whatever you kill and you like chopping it up and that's what you eat all year for protein or what?
Jerky.
I've gone through a lot of different phases for diet for sure. I mean,
Where we at right now?
right now I'm very aware of like the macros I need to hit throughout the day. But I'm not as strict in how I get them. So if I need 500 grams of carbohydrates, if I need to have a handful of pretzels and like a slice of pizza as a snack, I'll do it. Like 3 years ago, I was like pretty much keto, super clean, just was like zero body fat, but I couldn't play because I had nothing to like hold liquid or any fuel. So I was like, I looked like I was fit, but I was lasting like 15 minutes. So I've gone through a lot of different phases for sure.
So you're saying chips and stuff is not the end of the world.
For me right now, that's my take on it.
That's why Jody's playing so well.
Don't do that.
Chips and pizza right now, Jody, or what?
Don't do that, bro. No, the man saw me eat a bag of chips like yesterday or something. It's not like I'm eating chips all the time. God, what's he doing?
What about you guys? You guys follow a certain diet? I mean, Justin, you're a pretty big dude from what I remember. I mean, a lot of muscle. What do you?
Not crazy strict. I mean, I try to eat pretty high protein. So like breakfast.
Like a gram per pound or what?
Like, I don't count it. I don't really
count it. You're not that scientific.
I don't go too crazy. I just go based on like what they call it, satiety or whatever they call it, whatever the word is. But like I eat probably like 4 to 6 eggs in the morning with some bacon, maybe some smoked salmon and some avocado, maybe some toast. And then if I'm still hungry, I'll have like Greek yogurt, maybe with some honey, chia seeds, throw some collagen in there, maybe with some fruits, maybe kiwi, blueberries. And then my meals will be some sort of animal protein with maybe some rice or a little bit of pasta with, again, some veggies and avocado. Like nothing crazy, but it works. Yeah. And Jody?
You ever track the macros or no?
Nah.
No.
Are you like weighing your food?
Yeah, so dude, I mean I'm a sicko. I used to bring my food scale out to restaurants.
No.
I would be restricting myself to like 40 grams of carbohydrates. So I would need to like weigh if I got chicken and rice. I would ask for a separate plate, put it on the scale, zero it, and then scoop the rice onto the new plate to know that it was the exact amount that I needed.
It's not that serious.
OCD.
It cannot be that serious.
Not healthy for it to get that serious.
How was your mental health at the time? Were you happy?
I was super happy, honestly.
Really?
I think I kind of loved that I was like being a little bit of a sicko, you know? I kind of was like...
Can you tell me if this is normal behavior? Ethan put in like, he's making like milkshakes with ice cream, but then putting like protein and creatine and shit in it. Like, is that healthy? Like, you can't do that, right?
What's the quote? Be either hot or cold. If you're lukewarm, I spit you out.
A little ice cream. Exactly. Ethan's got to sweeten it up. He's the guy that goes to Starbucks and gets a little caramel frappuccino or something. You know?
Yeah.
He needs a little sugar. I love you, cute.
Keeps it cute. All right, fellas. I think we've arrived at that time. It's time to compete.
Let's lock in.
So, you know the rules?
Started locking. Apparently, I have a reputation. That reputation is not good, but we're going to start changing that reputation now.
We are going to go first to 3 correct answers. I will read the question out. When you think you know the answer, you can interrupt me and answer. If you are wrong, your opponent gets to rebut your answer. We get 2 tries at the question. You get it wrong twice. Both of you, on to the next one. First question is a who am I? 8-time Grand Slam champion, Olympic gold medalist.
Under Agassi.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Absolute.
Sir. What? Is it rigged now again? Is it rigged again? Is it rigged? Shut up.
gold
bullshit.
medal.
We just talked about
the
him.
gold medal for me gave that one away. He won all 4 and he won the gold.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Watch
gold's
tennis,
gotta be
brother.
Andre.
Educate yourself.
Can you ask the next question, please?
1-0, America. What was the score in the 5th set tiebreaker between Sinner and Alcaraz?
10-3.
Yes.
10-2.
You can't do that. You have to wait for me to answer. And it wasn't 10-2, right? Let's think. We can take our time here. And we're not going to use Google and we're not going to cheat. What we are going to do is guess. I'm going to guess it's higher than 10-3. Let's just go 10-5.
No, Kypson?
10-2.
Yes, sir. 2-0. America.
I even told him the answer there.
Yes, sir. 10-2. All right. If there are 48 apples in a bag and I take 12 out, what percent of apples did I take out of the bag?
25%.
Yes! 25%. That is correct.
First.
25%.
Wait, please, 2-1. Please, 2-1.
Okay.
Come on, we just fight. Down 2-love, we're just a competitor here.
Name a racket brand starting with the letter V.
Vocal. I got it.
heard Jody
I for
first.
sure got that.
No
way.
chance.
It was Kypson?
I don't think so.
I heard you
heard
first.
Vocal
I heard Jody
before
first.
Jody.
I heard Jody first.
Okay, you're ref. 2-all.
I heard Jody first. Woo. Okay,
We've
brothers.
cheated people in the past. We'll see in the edit.
see.
The
I
Wi-Fi
actually
is the
wanna see a
Wi-Fi.
replay
But
of
he's
you
closer.
with that
He's closer to me, so maybe that's why. It is what it is.
It's 2-all, bro. Come on.
All right.
Referees make the bad decisions sometimes.
Tennis or geography?
Say again, tennis
Just
or
kidding.
geography?
Yeah,
He
geography.
didn't graduate college, right?
Geography.
Tennis,
graduate college.
geography.
Oh no, he said that too confidently.
Which
Oh, got it,
country has the larger population? Mexico or Canada?
Mexico.
I heard Kypson first, personally.
That's not true.
Personally speaking, I
That
heard
is not
the
true. That is not true.
from America on the left side over here, bro. I heard it.
Let's go.
Patrick Kypson.
Bro,
That is a 3-2 victory.
I mean, Mexico City has like 50 trillion people in it, so it's got to be Mexico, right? Just Mexico City's got more people than Canada.
Yes, the numbers are 129 million to 40 million.
Yeah.
But you got it right, Jody. I thought it was slower than.
Consolation prize, Jody. You got the right answer, but you were late.
He's a little edgier than you. You know, you got
it's
it a little quicker.
It's not about winning or losing. I just like the trajectory that I'm on right here. I'm answering all
There you
the
go.
questions correctly. You know what I mean? I'm
There you
building
go.
something.
You manage
I'm
what you
building
measure. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
something. That's what I'm saying.
It will
Yes.
come.
Bro, Patrick, thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, it was fun. We appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you in a few weeks in Cary.
And brother,
Yep, sounds good.
we have a new ending to this show where we ask the guest who just was on who they want to see on this podcast. And you gotta say somebody crazy.
No, you added things to it.
no.
Before it was like,
Just
anybody
whoever you
can
wanna
have
see
the
on.
podcast.
Whoever you want to see on the podcast, you tell us who you want.
Good luck, but tennis Sangren?
Tennis Sandra.
Dennis Sangren? Why good luck?
Yeah.
We couldn't get Tennis Sandra on here?
No, I just think he's probably hard to reach right now because he's retired, but I think he'd be super. Sang's a smart dude. I looked up to him a lot, so yeah, I'll go with Sang.
Okay, Tennis Sandra.
Okay, see what we can work out.
We'll lock that in. Cool, brother. Thank you for your time, brother.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
guys. See you guys in Cary.